Alright, this is GamerFitNation's review of the Matrix NRG and the Matrix 1. Now let's start with the NRG. Now, I personally love this thing. It's a small, compact mini speaker. Now, what makes this cool is that it's so small. I mean, it's literally smaller than my cell phone, but it packs a punch. I mean, when I say it's loud, one speaker alone is loud. I mean, for you to buy a second speaker, which I believe they retail at $40, well, $39.99, it would be ridiculous because you would pretty much, you know, will take over with your noise. I'm going to give you a demonstration of sound. Now, what's even crazier is the fact that there's a bass amplifier within it. It looks like an accordion, but if you look really close, pretty much this part brings out the extra boom to the sound. This works very well. Another thing that's cool is, you know, locking it back. You can plug this into the electronic that you want to hear from. So, for example, I got my Mac here. I got my MacBook Pro and my phone. But at the same time, you know, it doesn't require a battery. It has a rechargeable battery built in. So, you know, everything. I mean, you know, who uses batteries anymore anyway? So that's just cool anyway, just to have it where you could charge it up, use it. I mean, for the most part, I never really had to worry about how long. I mean, I could sit there and just listen forever. And then at the same time, the plug, it comes with a USB plug. So even if you were running out of juice, you could just plug into a USB, and while you're charging it, you can still remain listening. I love this thing. I'm going to really come back to it and tell you why, because I favor this over the one. Now let's introduce the one. The one I like a lot too. What makes the one different from this one is, whereas this one is wired, this one is Bluetooth. Now, pretty much, I mean, you don't see any wires connected to that. You can recharge it, same way with the battery. The only difference is this is a Bluetooth. This is made for listening to music as well as like conference calls. So I have my cell phone here as an example. I'm going to show you a good example of how that works. All right, so I'm going to give you an example of how it works with a phone call. Now, I know you can't hear it, but it's actually making a sound that's indicating that there's a call. Now, hello? Can you hear that? Now, I can even amplify the sound. Let's see. And if you look on my cell phone, it's actually changing. You can actually see that I'm amplifying the sound right there. Hello? Hello? Can you hear me? You see how loud that goes? Now imagine with this, you can have a whole conference call via your cell phone, via Skype, any way you want to go. I mean, it's pretty cool. This is about $70 in itself, but it's worth it, and it's a Bluetooth device on top of everything. It plays music. It's easy to carry around, and it's small. Now, the difference between this and the... Wait, let me stop. Now, the difference between this and the Matrix, now this is louder, by all means. I mean, it's so much louder, it's so much, you know, it's worth the money. But it's something about the NRG. There's something about the NRG that, I don't know, it just feels even more quaint, and then at the same time, it's very loud, and it's more crisp in sound. I mean, don't get me wrong, you do get great sound quality with this one. And like I said, the Bluetooth factor and the fact that you can have conference calls, it gives this, you know, makes this a very good option to buy. But to own them both would be a better choice. I mean, you might think like, well, I'm gonna pay 40 plus 70, but I'm not gonna lie, I really like having them both for different reasons. Now, I'm gonna give you an example of why I like this one. I'm plugging this in. I'm not even gonna open that part yet. First, I'm just gonna show you. Let's play some music. Come on. You hear that sound? How about we kick it up a little bit? Now, if you really listen, you can hear the bass more. And on top of that, Like I said, if you could really listen, you can hear the bass a lot more. I mean, the bass is so strong, this actually vibrates. So for example, I'm gonna let you see a dance for me. Come on, you can't go wrong with that. That's 3 watts right there. And you know, I'm gonna correct myself. I never really had to judge the time on this, but I'm gonna tell you right now. I give this to say this has what, about 10 to 14 hours of actual play. I want us to lean more towards the 14. I mean, pretty much the energy life is greatly high. Of course, naturally, you would think on a Bluetooth device that some of the hours would shrink, but actually this also has about 14 hours of sound time. I mean, overall, if you're not getting the Matrix, you're crazy, because this thing is crazy. I mean, you see how loud it is. I mean, we didn't even test the audio sound on this one. Mind you, this is actually louder, but at the same time, the sound quality is more crisp. I mean, you can't go wrong either way. I honestly would recommend that if you look into this, you should get one of them, but if not one of them, you should definitely get one of each. Well, that's GamerFitNation's review. With anything that has Bluetooth devices, anything you could plug in, cell phones, you name it. Hey, and it comes in these cool little pouches with rechargeable plugs attached and all that. So I suggest you check out Matrix Audio. Get GamerFitNation.com. Peace.